It's time to prep. It's time to prep for the summer. It's time to prep our lands. It's time to prep our inward self and soul. It's time to prep everything and anything that we do in thinking and planning, designing, building, growing. We're farming moringa trees here in Plant City, Florida, and we're already prepping for the rainy season. We're prepping for the summer heat. We're prepping for the stretch. We're prepping for many, many different things. One of the things that we do to prep for the moringa trees is constantly add organic matter to the ground level. Florida is usually like a sandy, depleted soil because it was leveled, many hundred years ago. It was leveled to the ground. We've had several series of farming and agricultural industries here in the state of Florida, and so the soil is extremely depleted. But what we're doing is we're adding organic matter, oak chips, cuttings, shavings, making sure that we're constantly adding organic matter to the soil because we're prepping this location for a new succession of plants. As it reaches about 8 to 10 years old, the moringa tree will slow its production. So now we're coming into the third or fourth phase of this location here. Now being about 7 or 8 years old, we started to replant, interplanting little cuttings and little seedlings of moringa trees. So that way, eventually we will be able to remove each of these trees that are already large here and turn them back into soil. They've already produced tons and tons of organic matter for us over the last 6, 7, 8 years. Now, what I've done is actually care for the trees. One of the most common questions that someone asks here, and I'll answer it here for you, is how much can one tree produce? Well, in the first year, one tree may only produce maybe 100 grams worth of dried powder, which you can freeze. That's how one of the things that you can prep as well, is making sure that you're prepping for say, food shortage, or especially if you're living in a food desert, prepping for maybe tough times, and always having some extra protein, vitamins, and mineral rich food and herb, especially the moringa leaf, say in your stockpile. So in the first year, the moringa tree may only produce 100 grams of powder. But in the second year, that one tree may produce about 1 kilogram worth of powder. And then by the end of the first or coming into the second year, that one tree will produce about 1 kilogram worth of powder every single harvest. Now in the first year, you may harvest every single 30 days. In the second year, you may only harvest every 60 to 90 days. But by the third or fourth year, like these trees here, we're really only harvesting twice a year. And we're doing it very strategically to help keep the trees short during dry seasons. Like right now, it's still kind of dry. We do have the trees on drip lines, which we water here. And we're prepping. We're prepping for now hurricane season is approaching. We want to get these trees back down short again. They just kind of came back from a frost, but it's still not raining yet. So we're making sure that the trees are short, and we're taking off all the dead sticks and stems, and we're strengthening it and prepping for anything and everything that might be coming our way. Nature's brutal at times, and so we want to make sure that we're doing all the things that we can to care for these trees. Now check this out. That's one of the trees that we haven't touched yet since the winter time. So we cut the trees back in December, January, just before the frost. They were very well cared for during the frost in this area. It didn't even really freeze too bad. But then what we did was we came through and we started thinning the trees back out again. So now this is a tree that we just harvested the other day, and we went ahead and brought all the lowers up, and we went ahead and prepped for it bushing out by popping the top. And so we popped all the tops here, and now you can start to see that there's even some bushiness starting to come out here. Now let's go to one of the trees that we already harvested, say maybe 2 weeks ago. These ones looked all like that one. All of these look just like that one 2 weeks ago, but look, they're all coming back amazingly, bushed out, short and bushy. So we were already able to harvest about 1 kilo off of each one of these trees worth of loose leaf or powder, which we were able to use for many different things, mostly animal food and mostly plant food. You know, we use moringa in a very unique way. The most common way that you might have heard of using moringa is for, say, human consumption. But that's really a very small percentage of the total moringa tree industry. A more large portion of the moringa tree industry is actually using moringa trees for animal food and for plant food. So we've been turning a lot of these fresh leaves into fertilizer and biostimulant. This is an amazing, amazing mineral-rich, high in protein and enzymes, high in antimicrobial, antibacterial properties. So, wow, we've been able to harvest these trees and they're coming back. So we got in here. So these are all just coming back from the frost. Some of them got frozen back all the way to the ground, like this one. This one was frozen back all the way down here. It died back all the way. And this is all just growth. Everything that you see here is only 2 months old. You want to talk about prepping? How about growing your own food and making sure that you have the proteins and vitamins that your animals, your cows and your chickens and your goats and your sheep and your horses may need. We actually just got a big order for a bunch of horses. We have a huge equestrian community here in the Tampa Bay area. So we got a huge order of powder for a set of horses. You know, they're ordering 10, 20, 30, 40 kilos from us. We have all of those available at growmoringa.com. So that way you can shop large orders of moringa powder for animal consumption, large orders of moringa biostimulant for plant consumption. So that way you can prep your soil, you can prep your animals, get them producing more milk. That's right, moringa is helping to extradite the process of lactation in fodder animals. So get some more milk, get thicker yolks with your chickens and ducks and all the egg producing animals that you might have, quails. Oh man, maybe ostriches. Look at these beautiful moringa trees. So welcome to the Grow Moringa YouTube channel. Please like this video if you haven't yet, subscribe, and prep with us. Prepare for the next wave of what might be coming on the verge of, I don't know, total collapse, right? You know, so just making sure that you have your own stuff together. You've got what you need to provide for yourself, for your family, and it could start with maybe a few trees, a few moringa trees. And we have some big mature moringa trees actually available that you can grab on our website. So that way you can get started fast. We've got 2-3-year-old trees that we can ship to you in the mail. We even have like this starter kit that includes all of our best selling items, like the trees, the seeds, the biostimulant, and also comes with pellets, perlite, and some planting information. So that way you know exactly how to get your operation started. Looks like we might even have to come back and prep these trees again before the rains come. They've got some really good greens on it. I've had a really great time just explaining to you all the little things that we're doing here to prep. I hope you do as well and get inspired by this beautiful location and this beautiful video and this beautiful rising day, that no matter what happens, you'll be fine, because you know me. I'm Kendrick Henry, 813-567-3100, and that you can get fresh, local USA moringa to make sure that you have all the vitamins, minerals, proteins that yourself, your animals, and your plants need, all from this wonderful, miraculous moringa tree. And I really appreciate you guys for joining us today. Prep. Everything that you can do, prep the soil, prep the land, prep your mind, prep your body, get your body right, and focus on self-mastery, mastering the art of growing So what I'm doing right now is actually what's inspiring me about this is I'm learning even more intricacies about this moringa tree. I'm actually writing a book right now called Grow Moringa, The Ultimate Guide. And I'm diving in myself just into all the topics of life and mitosis and meiosis and the cambium layers of the bark and what's the difference between a vascular tree and a non-vascular tree and all the things that make moringa so special. I'm actually sharing with you in my new book that's available in the Grow Moringa Collective, mighty networks and teachable platforms that we use to create a private members community where we can all buy, sell, trade amongst each other, and also get the training that we need to be able to do that out in the public and out in the real world, you know. So before you post anything and you're not really sure of how it sounds or if it even is a good picture, come on in there and we'll help critique you. We'll get you the education that you need to also flow and feel confident in yourself to be able to also make some sales. One of the greatest skills that you can have in prepping for any time is being able to sell something. And that's when I realized in architecture school that even in architecture, I was selling my designs and I was selling my ideas, my philosophy, my ideologies. And in this case, I'm able to translate that into also what I feel like is a very important product and aspect of life. And that's why I am choosing this over anything, you know, versus just something that I may not feel as beneficial to the earth. You know, this in my eyes is something good, and that's what I want to share with you is good and love and everything that has come out of just devoting the time and energy into prepping for this very moment for you to go to growmoringa.com and support us as a collective. We have hundreds of members now inside the Grow Moringa Collective members area, and I really appreciate you for joining us and saying hello. If there's anything else, you can always comment below. You can always text us. I'm actually getting a team of helpers inside my text messaging service, so you can text us at 813-567-3100. We also have an email address if you'd like to send us maybe your resume. Maybe you can do some work with us. If you're wanting to partner with us, we get this a lot. How can we partner with you, Kendrick? First, just start with a membership and learn and prep for what we're trying to do so you can learn all the next moves and all the next steps in being able to grow moringa for profit, for good. And I really appreciate you for joining us. Peace, love, and prosperous growing. Ciao.